Good morning, class. Today's my topic of presentation is basic life support. So practically, I told you before what about the basic life support. This is actually when the patient is having cardiac arrest, either outside the hospital. So what we are going to do to revive that patient. So the study said that approximately 7 lakh cardiac arrest occurs per year in Europe, and in India it is about 5 lakhs. Survival to hospital discharge presently approximately is 5 to 10%, and by standard if the CPR vital intervention before arrival of emergency for double or triple survival from sudden cardiac arrest. Early resuscitation is very important, and prompt defibrillation within 1 or 2 minutes can result in increase in 60% of the survival. Basic life support is actually a sequence of procedure which is being performed by the medical professional to restore the circulation and oxygenated blood flow, and there will be a certain pulmonary or cardiac arrest. If the patient is having certain cardiac arrest, then the medical professional is trained so much so that the patient is being revived. The chest compression and the pulmonary ventilation is performed by anyone who knows and how to do it. It can be done anywhere immediately on without any other equipment. So that is it is known as basic life support. So chain of survival, that is early recognition and call for help, means if we just come to know that the patient is having cardiac arrest, we have to first call, then we have to do early CPR. After that, the next step is do the defibrillation, and then post, that is resuscitation procedure care, or to restore the patient quality of life. First of all, what we have to do, we have to approach this safely, check the response, shout for help, call for 108. In India we used to take care for the patient, that is 108, and chest compression rate will be 30 compression and 2 respiration. Open the airway, and breathing is to be given. Like, first of all, approaching style is approach safely, means we have to approach safely, and we have to check the response first. We have to tap his shoulder and we have to say, are you okay or not. If the patient doesn't respond, then we have to go for the next step, that is shout for help. Alright, that is in check response, we have to shake the shoulder as I told you. Then we have to shout for the help. In shouting for the help, we have to shout loudly so that the other person could hear and they should call for the ambulance. Then we have to follow a basic rule, that is CAB, that is circulation, airway and breathing. Previously in 2015 guidelines it was changed from ABC to CAB, because first of all we have to check for the circulation, then we have to take care for airway, and we have to take care for the breathing. Then 30 chest compression is to be given to a patient, that we have to keep our elbow straight and back straight, so that 30 chest compression is to be given perfectly. Because if we don't do that, definitely there will be no use of giving the compression, because that will not be given comfortably or practically or intermediately. In basic life support, like I told you, like chest compression, you have to place the heel in one hand of the center, as in the picture you are seeing that this hand is to be on the top of the chest in the middle of the mediastinum. Then place other hand on the top, interlock the fingers and compress the chest rate, that is 100 per minute, but now it is changed to 120, means up to 120 chest compression he has to give in 1 minute, and depth is to 4.4 to 5 centimeters. Then what the ratio between the compression is equal compression and equal relaxation, means if you are compressing the chest, that should be a proper relaxation as well. You have to get the relaxation. Then when possible, change CPR operator every 2 minutes. Then open the airway, that is head tilt STCL position. Next is when we are giving breath to the patient, we have to like this, we have to give this position, that is head tilt chin lift position. Head tilt chin lift position, the head is tilted and the chin is lifted upward, and then we have to give the breath to the patient. Airway opening by the neck extension, because if we don't open the airway, then definitely air won't go from this side. But when we give this position, that is STCL, the airway will be open, and definitely the breathing will be easily for the patient. Then in have to open the airway, that is head tilt and chin lift or jaw thrust position is very important. It is to be given by the healthcare professional. If you are not a healthcare professional, just resume the CPR and give the this one airway, breath. Then check for the breathing. You have to check for the breathing even after the compression, even the patient is breathing properly or not. If the patient is breathing properly, definitely the patient is going to be rescued now. Then how we are going to check the breath? We have to look for the chest, we have to listen and feel the normal breath. Do not confuse the agonal breath with the normal breathing, because in this kind of patient will have agonal breath, but that is not an actual breath which the human beings are used to take it. Then two rescue breath is to be given from mouth to mouth, that is we have to lip lock the lips of the patient properly and we have to blow a full air to a patient. After giving the head tilt and chin lift position, we have to close his nose and then we have to go for it. And two breaths only has to be given. If it is not given perfectly, then just leave it and don't waste time on giving the rescue breath. If you want to make the patient live, if you want the patient to be live, then you have to give the chest compression, that is 30 steps. In rescue breath, as I told you, you have to pinch the nose, you have to take a normal breath, place lips over the mouth, blow until the chest rises, take about 1 second, allow the chest to fall, and then you have to repeat. Now, breathing from mouth to nose, when to use? Means you can't open your mouth, can't make a good scene, severely injured mouth or stomach distension or mouth to stomach tracheotomy. In rescue breath, the tidal volume recommendation is to be 500 to 600 ml. The respiratory rate given each breath over about 1 second with enough volume to make the victim chest rise. Chest compression only continues at the rate of 120. Up to 120 you have to give per minute. Then continue CPR. Alright. So in the foreign body airway obstruction, that is FBAO, approximately 16,000 adult and children receive treatment for FBAO in UK yearly. So what are the signs and symptoms? You have to ask, are you choking? Mild obstruction, then yes. Severe obstruction, unable to speak. The patient won't be able to speak or may not, means he will shake or his head. And other sign, he won't be able to speak in mild obstruction. And if this obstruction is severe, then the patient won't be able to breathe. The wheezy sound will be there. Silent attempt of coughing and unconsciousness will be there. So adult FBO treatment is SSCVRT, severe airway obstruction, ineffective coughing. That is in unconscious, then we have to start CPR. If conscious, then 5 back bows you have to give or 5 abdominal thrusts you have to give to the patient. Mild airway obstruction is there, then encourage the patient to cough and continues to check for the deterioration and ineffective coughing until obstruction wait. Then this one is the back blows. You have to tilt the patient to the left side or the right side, and on the back you have to make the back bows so that the obstruction is to be removed. And in the back these are the back bows, and you have this is the medical professional, and from the abdomen you have to just compress the abdomen so that the obstruction comes out of the mouth. This one is this is how you should hold your hand, like this, and then here you have to give the abdominal thrust so that the choking whatsoever is choking material should come out of the mouth. This should be the anatomical proper position for giving the jaw thrust. Not jaw thrust, abdominal thrust. These are the abdominal thrust. Now defibrillation. When I told you about the defibrillation, we have to defibrillate, like you have to give electrical shock to a patient if the patient is not reviving. The contraindication are like if the patient is not doing well or not breathing properly, or the patient is not having any kind of pulse, then definitely a patient is in defibrillation is a very important and plays an integral part, but while giving a defibrillation, that is AED, that is automated external defibrillator. The AED act as a defibrillator what we used to see in the hospitals. Some AED are automatic, like we have to switch themselves and when the lid is open. Then what we have to do, we have to just see, like if the we have to place the patient to the left lateral position so that the patient will not have any kind of choking. And during the time of defibrillation, we have to set the frequency to 200 joule if it is a manual defibrillator, and if it is a automatic AED defibrillator, then just we have to connect and we have to start and give the shock. But just stay away from the patient while you are giving shock. Just say 3 words that I clear, all clear, and all clear. I clear, you clear, and all clear. These are the 3 words or 3 sentences you have to mention before giving the shock to the patient. If you will give directly shock, then definitely you are also prone to have shock. You are also prone to shock to yourself as well, and just these kind of things you have to bother. This was a revision class, and I told you before that how we are going to revive a patient, and we done it in practical. So kindly in home, kindly practice BLS, and if you have any queries, kindly contact me. Thanks and have a nice day.